Just sent me a quote from Anne Rice. As if the night had said to me, you are the night, and the night alone understands you and enfolds you in its arms. One with the shadows, without nightmare, and inexplicable peace. I was so certain of myself and my faith before I met horror writer John Saul and the Secret promoter Jack Canfield and some of Spielberg's people when I stayed in Kauai, and they were also at my writers conference. When I was in Kauai, the casting director's room was next to mine, so she and I used to get together and talk. And then when me and my husband went out to the lounge, the cameraman that did Jurassic Park came and sat at our table, and we talked with him. And he wanted to talk about the breakup he just heard about Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise. He knew all about the real reason behind their breakup, and he wanted to talk. So I've met some of Spielberg's group, and then D'Souza guy, met him in Maui at the conference. Until I got acquainted with evil people, I never doubted my goodness or anything, my moral values. I never doubted it for a second. I grew up Southern Baptist. Then later on, I met my friend, Sister Alwenia, and I went for Catholic classes, and she asked me to join the convent, and I went and just stayed for a month just to visit her and see if I wanted to join. And I took classes so that if I wanted to, I could join. And some Moonies got acquainted with me then, and they tried to get me to join a cult, and I wouldn't join a cult, and they kept pursuing me, trying to get me to. And the nuns at the convent, they helped me, their prayers, and because the Moonies will go in any church just to recruit followers for their group. And I have been tempted my whole life, but this is the only other message I got from someone. Before, when Simon Marsden sent me an invitation to come to France, I hoped that he was going to help me because I had written him about the things going on in my home. I had written and told him how when I was going to flip on the light switches a lot, like sometimes once a week or twice a month, I would know that a light bulb was going to burst. It was like I would get afraid, or I'd have this rush of energy. And I had this rush of energy. They just tried to turn this off. And the only thing that I have mentioned in this video that I've never mentioned before was Anne Rice. And they're trying to stop this video, me from recording. So Simon Marsden sent me an invitation because I had written him, and I had asked him if he knew why this group was pursuing me, because he was into the occult. Not really. He said he wasn't into the occult real life. His pictures looked like he was into the occult. I thought he might know something since he was researching ghosts and stuff and going into haunted mansions. He might know this group. And also I said I noticed that some of his work looked like what Del Toro was using in like Pan's Labyrinth and different movies. I said, look at the props in those movies and look how they look like some of your pictures. That's how. And also I wanted to ask him where he came up with the idea for Twilight, because I had written a poem, and then later my idea about the dead crossing over, and that I said, Twilight has claimed me, taken me to its land. I walk among the living, but that the dead have taken my hand. And I was talking, and then later they come out with this Twilight movie. Well, see, at my site before the Twilight movie was ever written, I had come up with the idea that the time between Twilight was the time that the dead had the most power, between lightness and dark, daytime and nighttime. So I put it at my page before any story was ever written. Simon said the Celtics believed it, but I couldn't find anywhere that was written. So he told me later, before he died, well, he asked me to be his agent, his American agent, and represent him in America, and sell his pictures. But I built websites for him and everything, and I promoted his books. And we were working on his last book together, and it was called The Dark Room. We decided to do that together while we were already in France, sitting outside an ancient building, having sodas. We decided to do the story. And that was going to be what we were working on. And I was sending him my writing by mail. And then the local people started following me, started trying to intercept it. I was taking flash drives to the post office. They were following me. They were preventing me to let it go through online, taking everything I'd written. So I would write and tell him this stuff. And somebody calling themselves, saying they work for Anne Rice, contacted me and said, don't you work with Simon, work for Anne. And I said, I don't want to work for Anna. I'm committed to work for Simon, and he's a great writer. And they says, well, you're going to have to burn the book. With you two working together, you're going to have to burn the book. I had no idea what they were talking about. Why? Why? Simon told me he's Catholic. He told me he just takes these pictures and he has a cult following, but he says he's not satanic. He says his best friends are the ones that own the cathedral or whatever it is in Scotland, where Da Vinci Code, part of it was filmed. So his daughter even told me on the phone that he is a devout Catholic. And when I showed him pictures I'd taken before I met him, like a couple weeks before while I was in France, I went and had my first Holy Communion at Lourdes, where the Blessed Mother appeared. And he was upset when he saw the pictures, because he said that place is just overrated. They should be ashamed. It's just to make money. It's just for tourists. So we had that discussion. And I never gave Simon any commitment other than he was sick. And I had met with him a year or so before in California. Met him and his wife for the first time. And he was fine. When I saw him in France, he seemed to me like he was going to die if he didn't get help. He was having trouble breathing. And I said, Simon, are they attacking you? I said, what is the change in you? I said, you're coming here and you're going to help me. You're going to give me some information. I said, but are they attacking you? And he said, oh no, he thinks it's asthma. He said I said, have you been to a doctor? And he said he went to one in UK, but the doctors aren't very good. I said, Simon, I have a premonition. I don't think you're going to be here much longer if you don't get medical care. And in exchange for me helping him, I swore, I said, I will do this for you for free in exchange that you get the money off these books and stuff that I'm selling and off the work I'm doing for you to promote you for free. You're going to go to a doctor and save your life, and you promised me. And he promised me a couple times. We had a deal. We had a bargain. And so I was afraid he was so bad that I couldn't sell enough books before he died. But shortly before that, he was perfect. And then when I talked to him on the phone and stuff, he sounded fine until December. In December, he had a terrible relapse, and they attacked my brain so bad last night. Oh my God, I think I'm just scattered today from it. What was that? What was the topic? The topic was getting the same from Anne Rice. Whenever my work was used in a book called, in a game through Sony called Book of Lost Memories, there were streets named after Stephen King, Anne Rice, and John Saul. Now, I've never heard from Stephen King, but I've had people stalk me and say they work for Stephen King. I don't know if it's true. But now I'm getting all these messages to say they're Stephen King. And now I'm getting this Anne Rice thing. Why do people stay in the shadows and then all of a sudden when the gig is up or they think I'm becoming transformed or evil, they want to reveal themselves? So I just want to, this whole thing, this video I'm doing now was to tell you how I could not resist what's happening to me, how I am being possessed because it's government weapons. Every day I got up for years and I tried to live my life, and all I could remember that the times my husband said I'd wake up every day. He said refreshed. He said didn't even look like I ever even went to sleep. And he said I was always happy, always in such bubbly spirits, never cranky. I wasn't one of these people that wake up painfully, that stagger around and have to like clear their throat and wash their face. No, I woke up bright, ready to greet the day, ready to run outside, full of sunshine, happy-go-lucky. Well, this group said they hated that. The first conference, Jack Canfield come up, put his hand on mine and wanted to feel my energy. This person that talked to me online that said they wrote stories hated me and told me how they were going to remove my rose-colored glasses. Whoever was talking to me said that they were going to show me real horror and that I was angelic and I was innocent, and they were going to destroy that innocence. They told me this. But I wanted so bad to to get a book deal, that I talked to all these people online. And I think somewhere between wearing myself down, thinking they were better than me, that I lost respect for myself. I devoted all my time and attention to them. I stopped enjoying life. And after a while, I had given them so much time that they told me if I wasn't giving them time, I would be murdered. Then they would have people follow me. And then if I wasn't giving them time, they started torturing me with weapons and making me sick. They wanted me at the keyboard 24 hours a day. So at first I was just being nice, trying to get published. And later, after they got into my brain, they started hurting me physically. And then they started trying to destroy my relationship with my husband. And then later they put the cameras in here. And later it was just breaking me down. The skulls, they call themselves the watchers on the computer, started coming after me. Sometimes they say I was a troll. They were a troll. They said I made people think. And the next thing you know, my brain is destroyed. And everybody that knows me says it's gone. It's shot. It'll never come back again. Everybody who knows me says, you're not even the same person anymore. And now this group says, Sherry's gone. She'll never be back. Now come and join us. Let this transformation occur. You got the devil in you, girl. They call me devil woman. And I just want to let you know, these weapons are not something you can overpower. And for several years, every time I would go to open my email, they would keep originally on 66 emails. Then it was 666. And every time I go to a site, I'd be like the 666th person. Or they kept making sure they sent me codes every day by computer with sixes. So then I realized that somehow the computer and the codes are somehow doing things for the devil. And Pan is the devil, and it's the Pan network. And also, I noticed originally when they would attack me, like the Stephen King publishing site, Simon & Schuster Green Mile, they would start burning. Whoever is doing this to me with the space weapons, NASA or some other group, they would, when I was fighting them mentally, when they would like make my things I'd written, my stories disappear on the computer, and I would start typing and try to put them back again after they'd stolen them, they would start making my temples do this, and I'd go look in the mirror. They were attacking my brain, but this was spiritual, somehow linked to the computer, the energy I was feeling, but I could always defeat them. When this first started happening to me, I was so powerful. My power, or whatever they call it, light energy. They say it was my like witch power. I hope I'm not a witch, but they say I'm a witch. And they said they had to destroy my wings because I had great power. They said they've never seen anyone with my gift. So what I used to do when they were stealing my work and I was trying to retype, before anybody told me hacking existed, they would have a game of wits with me over the computer and with energy. And it was like psychic. And they were like, not only were they stealing my work, they were trying to get through to my mind, communication. I wouldn't let them. I would block them with a thought. I would freeze whatever they were doing. I could even freeze my computer with thought. Just freeze. I was able to just do that easily. When I'm upset, water gushes from the pipes. When I'm real upset, I go to flip a switch, light bulbs bust. They say I've got telekinesis. But somehow, I think there's this energy with the computer and with the devil, demons or something, that are helping to break our minds down. We're sitting in one spot. Of course, they know where we are. But they're able to see what I'm doing through my walls to hit certain parts of my body, which makes me think, are they using infrared? They've got to be able, they see the shape of my body. They tell me. But they also have cameras. But I'm wondering that you're sitting at your computer. They know how to attack your brain from above. You're sitting right where they know where you are. They're using Wi-Fi somehow too. But when I was powerful, when this first started happening, they would attack me continually with armies. And this is how the devil wears you down. They were repeatedly attacking me. And now they've got government armies. Now they use real military. And some of them have pagan shrines. Some of them have devil skull, Satan worshiping things at many of the soldier sites that do this. The ones I've seen that are attacking me, other military, I'm sure, aren't even part of this. Other soldiers don't have anything to do with this. But they've got their own military on Uncle Sam's dollar. Now look how many years we have purchased tickets, movie tickets, with all this evil and sin. And come on, we used our dollar to buy evil. In the Salem witch trial days, if you even probably watched a movie, you probably burned at the stake. That's something that invention would be of the devil. You know, look how far we've come. But I know how they broke me down. They broke me down somehow with the energy, with space weapons, with the computers, with the armies that are putting things in my house, impaled mice, ritualistic things outside. They're leaving cult things outside. It's all breaking the soul down, breaking my mind down. As they're killing me, they keep attacking my spine and stuff too. What person? It's hard enough when you're a good, clean, Christian, moral person that believes in God, that never did anything wrong, to go to keep your faith and not be tempted, and to stay on the path of righteousness. The devil's got it, and also now they're just going to microchip babies at birth and just devour everything that's born on the planet, and then all of the weapons that are put in place are going to destroy your anatomy, so you're so weak, you just absorb all the soul pollution and evil candy they feed you through the media, that puts devil horns everywhere, and rituals and witchcraft, and they're even using KFC now for ads. As one of the buckets says bucket list, like you're going to be murdered, and they're selling chicken bone necklaces. It's like for voodoo. It's all being done for Satan. And I tried to tell people years ago what they were planning on doing, you know, and I call it Age of Destruction. And my quest to try to serve God, to try to put out the information I saw in hopes of saving the world, I think, they said I went down the rabbit hole. No, I think it's led me into hell, because in order to try to help other people, because I thought the Bible said you're supposed to preach the gospel on all corners of the earth before Christ's return, I thought I was serving the Lord. I thought by helping other people know how to resist temptation and to be aware of this evil force, then I was doing what God wanted me to do. But somehow, between them breaking my brain down and sending these dark entities, which are probably demons, in my sleep, when they hurt me and make me terribly weak by draining me in the day, I got overtaken. It's like I'm possessed now, and I try very hard to block it. But the people that are in charge, that make or break you, are the ones that are the devil's servants. And some of them, I think the Antichrist is here in the flesh. I do. So the people that tell you whether they're going to execute you or not are the ones that you're supposed to rebel. So the world is designed now where if you are good, they're gonna seek you out, and if you're bad, they're gonna use you. And I don't want anything to do with the people and now they're the writers, and they try to get me to work for the government. Yesterday I told them I don't want to work for the government. I don't want anything to do with Hollywood, but it's too late. These things have already affected me. I'm already invaded, and although I love God and I pray for salvation, I'm torn, because there's no way I can ever be successful, because they steal everything and put it in the hands of their people. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to survive, because they're destroying my health every night with their weapons. They're making me blind too each day. I mean, it's like you have no choice. You're just going to die for your faith. And the Bible says if you die, then Christ will save you on the other side. But it doesn't quite tell you in the Bible how these inventions and how these weapons are being used to make it so Christ's people cannot live naturally and rely on their own instinct and their own mind, because they won't let me have my mind. They hurt my head every day. They're even putting thoughts in my brain that aren't my own. They're even trying to use telepathy on me. And it's not just taking over my mind. You can see pictures. There's some energy that's flowing through my body 24 hours a day that's being trucked into my house. I've had sweepers in here, and they brought equipment that said there's radio waves here that should not be here. They traced them to train stations in different places, but they're not being used for radios, you know, they said the local radio station, they said this is kind of like piggybacking in something to do with mind control or something. They said a lot of these radio waves do piggyback in things, and they also let people use these weapons on me that they shouldn't be using. And if you look on my cameras at night, you will see in the dark, like when it's foggy, it looks like there's a gazillion spirits just coming through my home, just like something. And if you look at some of the pictures I've taken, you can see spirits outside. And they found radio waves all along the front of my house too, not just in it, but the whole part of in front of my house. Not down at the road, but way back here, the whole place. So something very, very bad is happening here that I can't control. I've reached out for help, but nobody will help me. It's so advanced. It's like way up with NASA. Nobody's read about this. You haven't heard about any of this in videos.